Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Valiant live stream. Welcome, Justin, Marianne, George. So excited to see you guys this Thursday morning. How are you guys doing?
Great,
Good.
thanks.
Great.
A little hot, but not too bad.
I'm in the room with all the doors shut and the air conditioning blasting. That's my
Same.
solution.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank our regular viewers for being here. We love showing up for you every week. And if you're new, welcome. I hope you take the time to explore our YouTube channel, to maybe like and subscribe if you want, if you like what you see here today. A little bit about us. We are Valiant Technology. We are a MSP provider, managed service provider. We're based in New York, but we have a national reach. And you can learn more about us, like I said, on our YouTube channel. You can visit us at thevaliantway.com and explore our website. And please join the conversation, comment on YouTube or LinkedIn. We also really love answering questions that viewers have. We love engaging. So yeah, feel free to start a conversation with us. All right, now all that being out of the way, our topic today is improving customer experience, which I don't know, that's kind of high on our priority list as Valiant Technology.
Okay.
But before we, Marianne's like, maybe. But before we dive in, I actually have a segment, Quick Tips, and I'll get started after my little introduction. Kicking it off to myself, I was like, all right, let's do this properly. So maybe you can't tell, but I've had some insomnia the last few days. And my quick tips, I was exploring like mental health ideas again and how tech can support it, because without going too far into it or being another place you have to hear about it, it's getting a little scary out there again in the news and just in what's happening. And so for me, that meant, okay, let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to things I know set me up for success, even when it feels like the external world is a little harder to manage. How do you take care of yourself so that you can show up and be your best self? And again, I've been having some issues with sleep, and sleep is at the center of everything. If you're not sleeping well, your mental health is off, your physical health is off. I know I'm more irritable. I don't problem solve as well. All that stuff. Like, it's just your personality literally.
If something's wrong, the first step is to reboot.
Yeah, very much.
And I was like writing this. I was like, this is like what we tell people to do with their computers, because we are plants and computers. So I wanted to think about how technology could support healthy sleep habits. I think it's popularly known as sleep hygiene as well. So there's just the basic tracking of your sleep. I mean, the way we like to maybe track our tickets, see where the issues are with our clients. Sleep tracking can show you maybe when you're waking up at night, when you're not in your deep sleep, when you're going to bed habitually, and when that means you get up. If a lot of times, if you aggregate the data, you can kind of isolate the problem. I did not mean to connect it that much, but so sleep tracking. There are apps for that. I know there's one in the Apple Store called Sleep Cycle that will track for you and aggregate all that data. My phone does it for me, I think, based on just when I kind of put the phone down to when I pick it up in the morning, because unfortunately it is the first thing I do. But I also know, George, you talked about your watch, right?
Sure, yeah. So I tried different watches and different tools, but the one I'm pretty happy with is a Garmin watch. It has a really great sleep. It's on your wrist. If you wear it while you're sleeping, but I found that it was nice and lightweight, and it measured both both heart rate and VO2, and kind of tracked kind of like all the different kind of patterns and sleeping. And it was an app. I mean, I'm sure it's not as accurate as like the thing on your skull and like, it's like a study. But I think, it's a good idea, and it kind of gives you some idea of some edges, right? Like something you mentioned earlier is like, hey, there's a consistent bedtime or consistent time for sleep, the unwind time, just consistently getting up. If you're constantly changing that, you can impact your circadian rhythms. So I think, using a sleep cycle tracker is a really good way of understanding. I know was a pretty bad sufferer of insomnia for a long time. I mean, for me, we were talking about this earlier, and caffeine after 4 p.m., 3 p.m. That's kind of a death knell.
Well, when we were talking about it earlier, I felt like I was like,
Yeah.
oh wait, George kind of has all the habits established that I feel like I should get established. Because I can tell everyone, yeah, you're not supposed to be on your phone at night, but I'm like watching YouTube videos because I
Yeah.
somehow think that's gonna help me, and it never
No,
does.
as just a long time sufferer of insomnia, I found that reading a paper book, or if
Yes.
if you're reading
Like
at
after
least
a page,
or if you're reading something electronic, be it not like an internet focused thing like Reddit or
news. Don't look at news after. It's like
you start doom
Yeah.
scrolling.
Yeah.
So I found
Don't do planning. Yeah.
it's you start or you're reading email while you're then checking. Or you're reading, and reading should really be this time. So I know for me at least, I try real hard not to let that inject into my sleep cycle. This is so
Yeah.
important. You can't recover, and that's the
No.
big thing.
Yeah, it's and that's sort of what I want to. Well, and quickly on the screen time stuff, if you do have to look at your phone, sometimes you have to set your alarm, or maybe you need to answer text or something. But I think there's just a very simple option of putting grayscale on your phone, right?
Right.
And we did, Matt, I think I linked an article to that, but you can do that later if you want.
Right.
But that's another. So anyway, yeah, the grayscale really helps, and also your phone is addictive. It looks fun. We are kids in a candy store with it. So grayscale helps. All of a sudden you're like, this is more boring than a book, and so I'll pick up a book.
Yeah.
And yeah, all that to say, I think, George, what you were mentioning, we can't make up that time.
Correct.
It's about, for me, my bridge right now that I need to cross is knowing this stuff and applying it to my day-to-day. And maybe the tracker is how I hold myself accountable to it.
Yeah,
Trackers and apps and things like that, for sure.
Correct. Exactly. It's so true. You have to kind of some like your own accountability, and remember, in the end, it's really for your own health, and so important for that. Almost every study shows how sleep impacts your health and longevity and all that stuff. So super critically important. But we could talk about this for hours. But I want sorry, Mary, go ahead.
I would say not just your health, but if you want to be a good worker for your company. Oh no, okay, we don't care about that.
No.
But yes, health is really important. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, part of it's just putting the phone down and setting. I mean, I set quiet hours on mine so it doesn't go off. If my phone buzzes and I'm not asleep yet, I'm gonna check it.
Yeah.
So
it's emergent. Yeah.
So rather than make sure I turn my phone like to silent, I actually have quiet hours set automatically on my phone. It turns it to silent. Now that doesn't work for everybody because some people might need to be available for emergencies, but you can also set certain apps to silent to have quiet hours as well. I know. I mean, we talked about setting that stuff for Teams before, but even especially your social media apps, you don't need the buzz that someone's posting pictures from wherever they are at the time. You could set quiet hours on that stuff.
Exactly. I think on my phone, I only set up like if someone calls me twice. That sort of thing. Like if you do some settings with a Samsung, we can force it to like that particle. So I say someone calls more
like
than
the
once.
emergency and
Emergency.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a pretty cool feature.
Some phones have that. Yeah, that's really cool.
So, well,
thank you guys. Yeah.
No, this is great. I know this is super, and I think that it really is part of a better thing. So, Megan, what's next?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. Quick tips is over on that. And yeah, what's next is us diving into our subject today, our topic today, which is improving customer experience, which our customer experience, our customer relationships are core to our business. It's kind of how our whole philosophy works. Because we realize the technology supports people, and that's our first objective. So I guess we'll talk about connecting customer experience and business growth. There's a strong correlation between it feels almost obvious, but I think it's really worth saying. There's a strong correlation between customer experience and brand loyalty. You show up for the things that work for you.
Right.
We were kind of discussing this before, but like, I have a great hairstylist. I only go to her because hair is very, Hair feels very personal. It feels, I want to look my best and I trust this person with that. To IT, I think it's actually interesting, even though a lot of people would say they can be a little confused by it or it feels overwhelming. It's also extraordinarily personal. So we want to create something that our customers trust. And George, George, Justin, you
Sure.
guys have been here for so long. Talk
Yeah.
about a little about the positive experiences with our customers. Yeah.
So I think always just and recently, just it wasn't even something with us. It was Mark Leach, Mike West, and David Souza, some of our engineers. A customer that they had worked with probably years ago in the past, when they were looking for a new MAS service provider, when they were engaged in their search, their first pick was like, well, where's Mark, Mike, and David? Like, where are they? It was really, wherever they are, must be a good place, right?
Right.
And that's like that kind of that piece where you're kind of bridging that like personal connection with the customer or with someone that, at the end of the day, every business relationship is personal. You have to really like the people you work with, and but we want to put in place some kind of like really good, consistent experiences for folks. And we found that was really important. I mean, obviously, it seems obvious, but how many times have you gone to a store or a place and the experience is so different each time you go? You're like, well, I don't know what to expect from there. I mean, that's the kind of the magic of McDonald's or Budweiser. If you think about it, it's like it's always the same, and you know what you're going to get.
But not just the consistency definitely is important, but also I think honestly, the mentality of it as well too. I like the way that Megan that you were putting it, that we're a technology company, but we don't support technology. We use technology to support people.
Exactly.
And we have that customer service mentality in everything that we're doing, that we're providing a service. We're a service industry, as opposed to just, oh yeah, no, you're buying widgets or you're setting stuff up and letting it run. It's like, no, we're supporting people, and that being able to build those relationships is what makes it feel fulfilling to me anyway. In a way, is not, it's not, it's fun to play with the toys and set up stuff and new server, that's great, but the really, the part that makes me feel good about what we do is when it's, no, we helped these people do something, we helped these people, we made these people's their work life better because we helped them
facilitate growth. Like it's so rewarding when when you see a company grow after they became our partner. It's like we don't want to take all the credit, but it's very well, George, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, 100%. I mean, we've been we've worked with customers that were like, the 10 people in a room kind of jostling around on the card tables, to like, acquisition where they were a 150 person company, and kind of helping just be part of that, even, and just experiencing it with them, and being able to help them with their scale and those operational challenges. And some place other people we worked with, we've seen them open 12 locations in 18 months. That and that's it was hard, it was challenging, but it really is. But so much of it is that we want that this kind of these mutually beneficial relationships, and part of it is like being very open and communicative with
exactly.
Yes. It's not just like we were speaking with someone yesterday, and part of the conversation was like, oh no, it's really important that we meet with you, that we talk to you regularly, that we have this kind of open dialogue, and as opposed to in the past where the person we're speaking with was like, well, we just kind of like pay the IT company and hope that nothing breaks. And that's really like a terrible place to operate from our perspective. We don't like, I don't like those. I mean, I don't like those.
That's not the service we provide.
That's the kind of relationship. We don't want that relationship.
Yeah, we don't want to be the people you call when something is broken. We want to be people that you're talking to on a regular basis, who are making sure that things are always getting better and improving.
Yeah. Correct. And I think we have to I think we have to also even think about communication on a broader scale. I know the website is a huge way of communicating our message to our clients, but also to prospects.
Right.
These live streams are a big part of how we communicate to our clients and our prospects. And then I know a huge thing for continual productive and positive engagement is our push for staff training and constant trainings. And I think we have a perfect person to just kind of talk about that really quick, Marianne.
Oh, yeah. As Valiant's training manager, yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, part of the conversation is something that we don't like to do, and we, maybe discovered this the hard way, is when we are doing these innovative things, when we're trying to get you to the next level.
Yes.
I think a lot of companies just talk to the higher ups and what the plan is there, and then implementing it involves everybody. So training is the thing that gets that next level to be, communicated to the whole staff, which is huge. So I mean, making sure that they know how to use it, making sure that they know what it's for, whatever the training, whether we're putting in something that's, being able to work completely remotely and increase collaboration, or we're putting in some security measure that might be a tiny bit inconvenience if they don't know like how much security that they're getting from this tiny inconvenience. They're just like, why do I have to do another step?
And it's like, because you don't want to be the employee, we want to make sure you're all strong.
You don't want to be that person.
You don't want to be that person.
Be like
the vector. The vector.
So all that to say, before we move on from this part, there is no single formula for improving customer experiences. I think it kind of comes down to always being engaged with your customers and always asking yourself, how can we keep improving this? It's it's the growth mindset, and it's sort of the understanding that it's never done, but that's great. That's actually really fun.
It's really true. And it goes back to even to the whole idea of the training. Like, you're never done training. You're never done making the experience better. You're never done improving the environment.
We're a
not
partner.
Just training, but we're talking iterative improvement.
Correct.
Everyone wants to innovate and get better, and that's how you stay competitive. So communication is always got to be a thing, because we're making all these iterative improvements, and we want to discuss with you how to get your business to the next level, even if that next level is just a tiny hop.
Which that's what improvements are made up of, tiny little steps. So kind of as we talk on a broad scale about improving customer experiences for people who may be looking to do that in their own companies, I think the best place first is to take a good look in the mirror. I mean, the collective Valiant technology, looking in the mirror. But I know that, so I've joined about 18 months ago. 18 months ago, which is still, it sounds like really long and really short in how I feel about.
Especially this past 18 months.
They're long 18 months.
I know, what a unique 18 months to start anywhere. But all that to say, I think I've always discussing customer engagement and how we deliver things best to our customer. And it's at the core of the services we provide. We've already sort of stated that, but again, it's worth stating again. And I think it's important to know many businesses can fix your business technology, and having technology that works can lead to positive experiences. But Marianne even said this earlier, that's not the service we're not limited by that. Like, we want to fix your technology, and then our Valiant Pyramid, we want to make you grow. We want you to become the best version of your company. Thank you, Matt. Exactly.
We can take care of all those foundations so that you guys can innovate and get better. And we do that for ourselves as well.
Correct. Exactly. I think that it's so much more not about not maintaining the status quo, but to get better, faster, less expensive, more engagement for you, more time or engagement for your customers. Almost all of our customers have customers, so that's the important thing. So
and I think it can be broken down into some 3 basic initiatives, or just basic bullet points. So I'll start, or I'll label it, and then I'll let the experts carry it with them. Improving asset management. I know, George, when you and I sit down with a lot of our prospects, literally it's someone who's maybe a little tired, and they go, I just need to know what we have. Which is the start.
I honestly, it's probably one of the top 5 things we hear from new potential customers, or I don't even know what I got going on here. I have no idea. It becomes this kind of nagging problem for people who are responsible for operations or business owners, where they're just like, well, what I have is correct for my business? Is it going to be manageable, or how much am I going to have to spend to keep it going? All those pieces of it are so important, and there's so many net benefits from having a good asset management program. We find around security. Just you can't secure what you don't know. That's I mean, thank you, Matt, for that. Cheers.
I really want to watch that movie again.
But I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's such a security thing. Sorry, I mean, how many times, JP, Justin, have we had people say, we're like, hey, did you fix that thing? You're like, we didn't even know you had that.
Yes, that's like months or years into a relationship, and they're like, hey, this thing isn't working. We're like, oh, wait, that's not, nobody has ever talked about that thing before. That's never been something that's there. So no, it's not on any of the roadmaps. That's why we have these pieces, is to go through all of that. And
but we also recognize that that's part of what we're doing when we're doing onboardings, when we are taking that responsibility for a client, and that's something that we've focused on improving for ourselves. So we have a lot less of that, I had no idea you had that, and a lot more of, hey, check out this thing you have that we need to talk about.
Yes, it's proactive. We get to be proactive in that sense. Yeah,
and I think you got to keep in mind, assets are not just like physical assets. They're also intellectual property assets. They're systems. They're operational pieces. And it's so important is to have them documented and understood. So
that's for us. But another business is listening, your assets may be something different. It may be, your biggest asset might be some sort of information database or something like that. So knowing all that stuff that you have is really important as well.
But even from, again, going from a security perspective, knowing what data you have and where that data is incredibly important to allow you to protect that data. I mean, even things as simple as do you store your employee social security numbers or HR data on a server in a particular place? You need to know that so that you can know that needs to be protected in a certain way,
and who has access to it.
And in the event of some kind of breach or something along those lines, to be able to positively say yes or no, this data wasn't accessed. If you know, like, okay, all the data for the HR data lives in this other HR platform and nothing is on the server, and something happens on the server, you can say, oh no, but the HR data is safe because it doesn't live there. But you can only do that if you know where all that stuff is.
But you said, like, the magic word, in the event of a breach, what happens? And I think that's what we're really going to focus on next week when we're talking about our tabletop exercises.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's really important. We talked about it before. We'll talk about it next week. But yeah, I mean, that's a really important thing to do. If you have good asset management, you're going to know these things exist, and then you can more easily do the tabletop exercises. You can plan for disasters. You can plan for innovation. What can we use? What do we have? What do we need?
Yeah, and it comes down again, the know what you have. It's very simple idea, and it's very hard to execute when it comes to asset management and things like that. And then visibility also. It's not only important to have visibility on your on your assets like that, but also on your software licensing, knowing when that expires, everything like that. George, if you want to speak a little bit to that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Software licensing, and kind of a more modern take on software licensing is also SaaS applications, services you might be working with. We're working. Justin and I've been working for a couple months with our team on implementing a way to have visibility into all these applications. And what we're seeing is that most companies will have like 30 to 40 applications, of which they didn't know 20 of them existed, or they didn't know their staff was using them. So we want to really work with our clients to understand what they're using, what their staff is using, so they can either provide them a secure and way that's from an asset, like they understand you're using these things, or prevent or give them alternatives that are approved and work with it. To kind of prevent the shadow IT, prevent the data leakage problem. And licensing is a really big piece of that. And it kind of falling back into the asset kind of management. It's both a subset and its own thing, because it's such a big expense and line item for a customer.
And I think you can tie into licensing as well too. In some cases the warranty or support services for certain things. And so, for example, if you buy network equipment that has a 3-year license and warranty on it, when those 3 years are up and you have to renew that, that's it's an expense. It's something that you have to do in order to keep those things working, and that's something that it's it's a 3-year license. It's way better to know that that's coming up than to be by surprise, like, oh yeah, this is expiring in 2 weeks. We really need to
there's nothing worse than talking to a creative partner and being like, oh hey, did you know you got a $10,000 Adobe bill coming up, or else no one can use the Creative Suite.
Oops.
We see that, like, I think we are happy to take on that responsibility, and we don't want to be the messenger for that.
So part of that is we do all this asset management, we do all this software management and understanding, and the thing that prevents us from going, hey, next month you have this thing due, is also the way that we deliver it and communicate it. So that's one of the reasons why we've started and been slowly and surely and improving our quarterly business reviews.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Because I've been here almost 7 years now.
6-7 years, yeah.
Almost by the end of the year it'll be 7 years. And at the beginning, we had this concept in place. It was a technical health report. And we were getting our feet wet, but it's improved so much. We've taken feedback from our clients, and we've taken feedback from our own staff who are dealing with the next things that come up. And we've built into this really great quarterly business review.
That's a one-on-one. Sorry, Marianne.
Please define it. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Just so people know what we're talking about, QBRs. Mariana said it a few times, and that's great. Quarterly business reviews. It's a one-on-one conversations we have with our clients where we review the state of their technology, their business goals, because a lot of times you have IT solutions to your business goals and you might not even know it, and how we can leverage technology to meet those goals, and how we can use our we consult on those things and sort of help shed light on the options they have. And we look at your IT assets, where the life cycle of each respective asset is, like we talked about with the licensing and the machines. And we are able. Sorry, I lost it a little bit. Sorry, Justin, do you mind talking about that a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, the QBRs have been transformative in a lot of ways for how we've been able to work with our clients. Like I said, it's been a slow improvement to get to the point where they are now over years, but that having that regular cadence of conversation where we can say, not just go over okay, this is when your licenses are due. These are the machines that you have. These are the workstations that are 5 years old and need to be replaced this year. Not just, those pieces, but the conversations about, like, okay, when is the lease up for your office? When are you looking to move? And having that conversation ahead of time rather than, oh, by the way, we signed a lease and we're moving and we need to get everything done. Because there's
preparation back and forth from us to them and them to us. We try and do it like a year out, and that's why we talk quarterly, but we
have all of that stuff. I mean, even just
have a roadmap
move topic. One of the anecdotes is that we've had a client that was trying to decide between a couple of different places to move into, and it was before they signed a lease, we were working with them. We said, well, hold on, before you sign, let's check what the internet options are. And the deciding factor was that for the place that was supposedly cheaper ended up being more expensive because the only ISPs they could get were really expensive. And they went with the other place because it made more sense in the long run. And that's just a simple thing, but that came about just from a conversation about, hey, what are you guys looking to do in the next year? What are your plans? What, are you growing or are you not growing? Do we need to find ways to help find savings? Do we need to find ways to what can we do? And that's a really powerful outcome from just being able to have those conversations with clients.
And we have sorry, George.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to talk about our partner that we have. Because I think we're talking about a lot of visibility. We're talking about these roadmaps and how QBRs help you budget. and help you figure out what you want to do next, whether it's an office move. And we have a portal that
Really helps. Yeah.
really helps. It's pretty intuitive, and every client has access to their customer portal that has their inventories, their user lists, their security policies, which we all need to like check in on. And I think that's been a big step. I mean, and George, I know you were a big part of us getting Cloud Radial, but
it was all Justin and Chris Copeland.
That's true.
Oh, it was all Chris Copeland.
It was Chris. Chris, who's our who runs our VCO department, rarely will ask for anything. He's very very like kind of like make do with what he has in front of him, make it work. He's like, we need to buy this. This is the best thing I've ever seen to change the QBRs. And actually, it's interesting, since we've implemented Cloud Radial, we've really been tracking our QBR delivery to our customers. And we're only about 74% across all of our customers. And so our goal is 100%, obviously, because it's such a critical thing. But we want, one thing is, I think, to keep in mind is that we want the QBR to be useful for the customer, not just for us. I mean, Mary Ann and I, 7 years ago when we started doing these,
it was like, you got to come to this, and they were like, fine, like it was a chore that they were doing for us. And now, exactly, with the QBR, with the way that we've really made it about the business and where you want to take your business and how technology can get you there, it really is a thing. And part of that high, we're trying to get as many people in as possible, is because they want to be, they see the value, they want to take the time to do that. So that is really important. And if we go back to communication at the top, I mean, having this portal available is a way to keep the information flowing, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I have a phone call, and if I don't take notes, it's gone. So it's a really good way for our clients to go back and review what we talked about. If they go, wasn't there something coming up, they can go look at that, or they can even say, you know what, I see these things that Valiant suggested, but I realize that they aren't talking about this thing I want to talk about, and they're able to really, it really helps foster the communication and the partnership that we have.
Yeah, and it gives them agency over their IT. It gives them, we're there to partner, we're there to take a lot of issues off your table, but also we're there to support your goals, like we've talked about. And and Mary Ann, kind of what you even brought it to, the communication, customer experiences, they changed based on external conditions and factors, and our efforts to improve has to be like we said, it's a constant cycle. It's Sisyphus up the rock, like with the rock pushing up the hill, except it's really fun and we like it. And with Cloud Radial, all these conversations facilitate feedback from our customers, and that's what we want. We want to invite engagement, and we're going to move on. Our producer is letting me, he's saying secret sauce. He had a Big Mac he's really excited about. I think that's about Matt. Just kidding. So we just talked about, thank you, Matt. We talked about our own improvements as a way of using ourselves as a little bit of an experiment to show the importance of these improvements and why you can never really let the ball drop when it comes to this stuff. And how does this help you overall? Well, sales blazer on for a second. If you need an IT partner, try giving us a call. We love having conversations, even if it doesn't lead to full engagement. I think we're experts in this, and we want to help you find your way in your business growth and your IT growth. And listen to your customers, talk with them. QBRs really help that, and the responses we've received make it clear that they are so valuable for us and the customer.
And for other businesses, it's going to be important for them to find their own QBR. Find your own helpful thing where you can open those lines of communication.
Exactly. Sorry, George. Yeah.
I think there's nothing worse than when you. One thing on the flip side, we track how much a customer engages with us from a service team and from other metrics, because if people aren't engaging with us, there's something wrong. It's kind of entropy is in the system. Things do break, so you got to wonder if they're correcting or they're not, whatever it may be. So we want, we have a kind of a benchmark that we want to kind of achieve with all of our customers. And if you don't do that, I think you can miss out on potential issues or other problems like that. So it's really important that you. Yeah.
Innovation opportunities. Like maybe we can provide the solution that you didn't know you needed. Like it's a mix of those two things.
Exactly.
So we're about 6 minutes past. We're gonna work on this. Again, I mean, I think it's just an example. We really love talking about this stuff, and we love talking to each other about this stuff.
Yeah.
So just the last moment, the sort of thesis of this episode is listen to your customers, and build systems, make that listening, make that listening productive and efficient.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but yeah, we're almost out of time. We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting the like kind of the light on thing. We're getting that off the stage light.
The hook off the stage.
The
Oscars music is playing.
Yes, exactly. That's where I went. So
So I'm really excited about our next stream next week.
Yes.
It's gonna be great. Once again, this is a topic that I love to do with our customers, which is a tabletop exercise around business risk, with a kind of a focus on operational continuity, business continuity, and cybersecurity incidents. The idea here is if you don't play out the scenarios, at least discuss it, you really have no idea what to do when it goes bad. And honestly, it's such a critical thing that we're constantly looking for ways to make that a better piece of our business or what we deliver to our customers, because I think a lot of people don't have they won't make the time on their own to do it. But if we kind of jam it, but kind of say, hey, this is really important. We can't do our job if we don't do this.
Yeah.
So we're really excited. So we're going to have a great session next week. We're also going to have some great guidelines and downloadable pieces around it and some documents to get you started, because we don't want it just to be like, here, do this, and then we want to give people the tools to kind of start themselves in their business. So if you enjoyed the stream, please like it, give us a thumbs up. It's really important. We really love doing these. We've been doing them for over a year now, and we want to keep going with it. So if you have ideas, if you have questions, send it to us. We'll include them into the stream. And once again, it was such a great. Thank you, Megan, for such an awesome download today. Marianne, Justin, thank you as always. It's been great. It's great doing these, and I can't wait to do it again next week. All right.
Yeah,
thanks,
great.
everyone. Have a great week. Stay safe. All right. Bye now.